Hello everyone, let's raid the scrap drawer and shop our stash to make something really creative, fun, and useful. We're gonna make a paper scrap booklet, and this one is bound with an O-ring, but I'm going to show you an alternate way. If you don't have a binder like this, you can do the hole punch and any old string or twine or bookbinding ring, so you don't have to have a specialized machine. I have, and look at that, that side's upside down. Doesn't matter though, because I have taken a master board. That's right, I've made a few of those. I can try to link some video in the corner and the description below if you're not familiar with a master board, or if you just want to see what my take on it was. But I've made a few papers with the scraps, beautiful scraps. I have a lot of scraps, and then so this cover is made from one of those master boards, and I've just cut it down to the size, and then this is full of some of my favorite paper scraps. And the idea is I can bring it along with me, or even just have it at my desk, and when I want to use a paper, I just tear it out. I'm not going to do that now because I want to have this to use later. And with the wire binding, if your paper is not too thick, it should come out. You could always just snip it with scissors if you want, and if you don't need the holes, you trim it there. Or you can keep that look, which I don't mind too much. And, oh look, this one didn't get bound properly, so I guess we just pulled it out. I must not have had it in there. And it's so forgiving because, look at that, I just have one less paper. I've got all kinds of different papers in here, and the idea is to, instead of buying something new, like a lovely book full of papers, you can use what you already have and get the creative juices flowing. So I hope that this does this for you, and you can see my lovely drawer. Through this project, I was able to make it a little less overflowing. Some of these papers, like you can see right here, this is Exhibit A. It's bent because I make so many scraps that my drawer gets overfilled, and this is a pretty big drawer. What is it? It's like 13 or something by... Anyway, so it's fitting better now, and I have these two smaller guys that are in here, and they'll hold this down, and I gotta go through my scraps regularly or I have too many. So I am going to have a little tutorial. I'll gather some papers, show them to you, and then we'll get in and make this lovely and show different variations as well. So the first step would be deciding the size you want, and you can do any size. So I would figure out what my largest scrap of paper is that I want to put in it, and for this one I am revisiting the Your Creative Studio papers. I'm going to try to put a bunch of them in here just to have to use, because they're all kind of separated by subscription box. That was the stationery subscription box I was getting, and I've got lots of box openings. You can check on my channel if you're curious. Now these ones are about 8 inches long by 4 3/4 wide, so I kind of want to fit some of that, but I don't necessarily need all of it, and that's my largest paper scrap. And you might recognize, if you saw the masterboard video, this lovely specimen, which is also featuring lots of Your Creative Studio supplies, from the stamps to the papers to the washi tape. I think that this whole thing was made with stuff that I got from those boxes, except for the paper that came from a book on the back. So I'm going to cut this down. I am thinking like 7 3/4, because I can just trim off a little length, and then 5 1/4 wide. So I'm going to cut this down, and then I'll have the front cover and the back cover ready, and I can set that aside. And just like that, I have produced some more scraps for my scrap drawer, so you can see how it can get out of hand very quickly if we're not regularly going through them and using them. And I have a front and a back, and these are pretty much can go any which way, and they're ready to have pages inside and to be punched for a binding. We'll set them aside and check out the pages. Okay, I've got a whole stack of Your Creative Studio papers, just patterned papers, mostly thin. Some of them are a little thicker, but they should be fine. In fact, I didn't even make a huge dent in my stash, and this might be a little too thick, but we're gonna see how far we get with it. And I wanted to mention something I forgot to mention just before is I always recommend, and I think it's always a good idea, to make a template. And this is my just printer paper template for the holes, and it's cut to the same size as the pages within. And you can see that I didn't do a perfect job punching it out every time because they're a little off, but it's totally forgiving, like I said, and it works. But this keeps me, in fact, I think that was part of the problem. My line was not quite straight there, but we'll try to do it better this time, and I will show you. But this one, remember, this cover is 7 3/4 by 5 1/4. So that is what I've cut my printer paper to. And first I want to find, I have this lovely centering ruler, which I use all the time. I want to find the center. So that's like 2, what is the center? 2 1/2 and 1/8. And this time I'm going to try to do a better job and keep it straight. And make a mark here, here. Maybe I'll go down and make a couple more marks just so I can try to keep my line straight. And then this time I want to keep this line straight, and I'm gonna just, and this is kind of, this step is really more important for if you have the binding machine. So skip ahead if you're not planning on using a zutter bind at all, or the Cinch, which is what I have here. I will zoom out and show you, but I have used an alcohol marker to highlight the center line here because there is a center marking right here. Oops, on the machine. Can you see that? And I just find that when I'm making a lot of things, it's easier if I have that to line up. So I line it up with the arrow and the line that I have made on my machine. That works for me. You do you. So theoretically here, the arm will go up. Let me see if I can zoom in. I'm going to try to line it up here. And you know what? It's as good as your line is lined up, right? Can you kind of see right there how it lines up? And I'm going to go ahead. Oh, and I think I have to punch this down, but don't move it, don't move it. I need to push in a couple pegs here. So this is not going to be a tutorial on how to use the Cinch, but there are plenty of YouTubers that have done a great job with that, and I don't want to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. A fair job on my template. I feel like it's a little off on that side. So I could go ahead and make another one, or I can use this. Now, if you don't have a binding machine, I want to make sure that this is accessible to everyone. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do these holes with, actually, I am going to have to redo this because I just realized something. But how to do these holes with just a hole punch. So I have used my lovely ruler here to get a 1/4 inch line make down here. You can do it as far in as you want, but this is lined up at a 1/4 inch. And then I've used the centering to find the center, which was right here, and mark off these 1 inch apart for the length of the paper. And then you just take a simple hole punch. Here's mine. It's going to be as good as you get it centered. Am I on camera here? Which, you know, is not my strong point, so we'll see how I do. Kind of have shaky hands. And there I have holes. Not as many, but I don't want to do that much work. You can do as many as you like. They're a little wonky, but that works. And I think I'm going to redo this template because I was thinking of trying for this scrapbook to just use, in the love of scraps, a scrap of O-wire, which only has 3 holes. So on my example, I kind of want to only have 3 holes. So let's go. I found another scrap that has 4, and that looks like it's going to work out better for this book because I don't know how I can get it centered with just 3. So I'm going to try the 4 punches. This looks about right. Let's see. And that is how it's going to look. And let's see if this works. It'll just be held on there. And so it'll be a little loosey-goosey, but easier to tear out pages. That's the idea, at least. And then I can use this scrap for either just a 3 or a 2. So here's my template. Ooh, let go of that. And now it's time to punch the cover. Let's see, do I care the direction? Not particularly. So I'm going to get these to be together, relatively speaking. And you might notice it's a little shorter because I cut my template to match the length of my papers. So I'm just going to hang on to this. Not going for perfection here, just going for good. So that's another advice to you. I would say if you're like me and tempted to overthink everything, do it, you know, well enough to do it well, but don't let yourself think about it too much. So like on the papers, I didn't look too closely. I just stacked them up because I'd be overthinking, oh, do I want to cut it this direction, that direction? No, 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 we don't have time for that. So yeah, try to minimize decision making if you want it to go faster. I think that I'm going to trim this down. How am I going to do that? I'll find the center of this piece. There's probably an easier way to do this, but I am going to go for quick and just trim off these 2 edges. I could have made another template, but this works. That way it still stays in the center, but it matches my papers and I don't have to try to estimate the middle point. So let me trim this off. I had a brainstorm to see if it doesn't look easier or better or show up better on camera. This direction is going to be harder for me for sure, but I'm just going to do 1 or 2 of these and then finish the rest off camera. So I don't want it to be too thick, so I don't know how many sheets do I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets roughly, then my template sheet. And my head's coming over. I think that's the center. Looks pretty good. This wire can hang right on the side here while you're prepping everything. And actually these 2 go on last, but we're gonna put these on here at the start. And then I'm gonna go ahead and finish and come back. I'm back and you can see not perfectly punched, but good enough. Then we want the cover. Oh, and I put my papers upside down, didn't I? Just a minute. The papers should be this way. Definitely read the manual, double check. But if this works, you'll see it on camera. Okay, cover. Which one do I want the cover to be? Girl or books? Let's go with the girl. And then the back cover goes face up. Is that correct? I think so. So you have something that looks a little like this. And then we're going to go around to the back of the machine, which is where it punches it down. And I think it's already set to this. I'm not exactly sure what, I think this might be a 1/2 inch O-ring. It's just what I had in my stash, but it's roughly just beyond the 1/2 inch mark on my, I think it's supposed to, I don't know if it's supposed to go a certain way, but on that marking there. And then this lovely bar is really easy to use. Press it down, check to make sure, because with papers, give it a little squeeze, and I might trim these down just a bit more, but that is how that looks. There, oh yeah, that looks a little better. I think I'm gonna do that and tuck this in. I don't want it to be too sharp. So I don't know if you can see what I just did there. I took the sharp ends, it's not even focusing, and tucked them in there. And then that's our back cover. Flip it around. Le voila. We have a scrapbook. Scrapbook, scrap paper book. I don't know what to call this. Can you give me some suggestions in the comments? What should I call this? Because I was thinking of making some more, maybe for the market, because I have so many papers. And here we are. And I might do, I don't know if this is for me, I might not do anything with that, but look at that. All these Your Creative Studio papers ready on my desk. I can take this with me. It's not too big. Or I could leave it if you wanted to add like elastic binding, you could, but this is, you know, thick card. It's not laminated. It's, you know, not meant to be too manhandled, but that is how to make something out of our scraps that we can use and hopefully use up some of these paper scraps. This one's a fun one. I was playing with washi. I got all kinds of ones in this one. Like, I think this is, oh, that's a gel print scrap. And I think there's, oh, this was from an old Smash book. This is printed. Oh, it's such a cute pattern though, isn't it? And book page in here, and you can have torn edges. They can be different sizes. So like this one's not the same size. And here's some book page and just lined pages. Anyway, the possibilities are in fact endless. Now, I am going to make another video here in the near future, hopefully, with watercolor paper. And for that one, I took scrap paper, of course, and laminated it because when you're working with water, you know, and then this is also a painting surface. And I will have that one coming in the future, hopefully sooner rather than later. But here's today's idea with the scrap papers. Use it for on-the-go crafting. Maybe use it as a gift to someone to share your stash, shop your stash, use your stash. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Was this a good idea for you? Is it starting your ideas tumbling? And let's share those ideas in the comments because boy, I love to hear your thoughts and I love to get creative inspiration from everyone and to share it as well. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, all the things, share, etc. I really hope the YouTube algorithm doesn't ding me on this one because I think this is a great idea and I'd love for it to help other people as well. So thank you for watching and have a wonderful and creative day.